Hey, it's John McCabe. Welcome to the show.
Okay.
Hey, welcome to the John A. McCabe Show. It's all about accelerating your authority in your business or field of expertise. And I do that by helping entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed on any device, anywhere, anytime, within as little as 15 hours, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Welcome to the John A. McCabe Show. Today it's unscripted. It's always live, but I don't even have a pre-recording of the episode today. This is the second to last episode for the first half of the season. Tomorrow is the season finale. We've got a great season finale lined up for you. We have a special guest coming on tomorrow. We're not going to name names. I'm not going to get into what's actually going to take place tomorrow. We're going to build that excitement, so hopefully you'll join us tomorrow on the season finale. But today it's Hot Seat Coaching Thursday. I didn't have a guest until approximately 45 minutes ago when I reached out to my good friend Julie Hoffman, who's actually doing a product launch right now. She's using the Jeff Walker PLF strategy and launching a product. She's doing some webinars over the last couple of days. So we'll get into a little bit more with Julie on sort of how that all came about, how it's going for her, the progress, and just what it took to actually launch this product. I want to reach out to everybody. It is still Q&A. Today's Hot Seat Coaching Thursday. My guest today, Julie Hoffman, who agreed to join me 45 minutes ago. So it's completely unscripted. There's no canned questions like I normally have. So Julie, we're just going to get into, we might as well just get into it.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on. So you're doing a product launch. So how long ago did you actually decide that you were going to do this product launch? And how long did it take you from that point to the beginning of this week when you put the things together?
Wow, that's a good question. I decided to do this product launch 18 months ago is when it
18 months ago?
Well, we've launched a few times, but honestly, like, it's been such a work in progress, as you know.
Yeah.
Launching anything, especially launching anything online. Actually, my husband came home with a book called The Product Launch Formula by Jeff Walker.
Yeah.
And I had talked with another business mentor of mine by the name of Mark Januszewski, and he's the laziest networker, and he's out of Hawaii, and he and his amazing wife, Davine, they do a lot of online stuff, and they're just amazing people. Anyway, I have all this real estate investment experience. Is that okay if I talk about that real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
So, been investing in real estate since 2001. I've transacted over 300 deals, over $80 million in real estate. Went through the recession, got chewed up, spit out, and learned a lot, and have since rebuilt another multi-million-dollar real estate investment portfolio. And now I'm a coach because I want to help people prevent going through what I went through, obviously, right?
Right.
That's how the Street Smart brand came about, because I became very street smart when it came to real estate investment, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Yeah.
And so online, you can't help but notice the online world, the online space, and how it is growing. And through, again, these mentors in Hawaii, Mark and Davine, I was like, I think I'd like to create a real estate investment course that's online. And they're like, okay, then you do it. And I learned a whole bunch of stuff from them. They actually have a program called the Master Key System, the MKMMA. You might have seen a lot of hashtags out there about it.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's a big whole process. Anyway, my husband also brought home this book, and Jeff Walker did a launch or pre-launch and just kind of watched it. And I was like, I think I can do that.
Yeah.
But I think I could do that somehow. So I just created a bunch of content of what I was doing. So the way I rebuilt my real estate portfolio in the last, since the recession, has been all through without qualifying for financing and without putting in any of my own money. And so I basically just put it into segments on what I did in order to do that. And I also included about 3 or 4 hours of content in landlording. All right. So landlording's a fundamental that everybody needs. And anyway, so I had all these topics, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to talk about these topics, and I'm going to try to put it out there in a format. And so every day that I did a topic, I would just basically record it and produce it, basically. Yeah. And in addition to that, my good friend Bill Bika, who I think is here, I hope he's here watching.
No, he's watching.
Okay, cool. The Educated Landlord. I'm starting, it's kind of foggy. I'm a little bit of a fog. But it's actually about 1 year ago today where I started putting out online all this stuff that I'm going to start this live online real estate investment coaching. And Bill reached out to me. He said, I don't know if you remember me, but we met a few times back in the early days of RAIN, the Real Estate Investment Network. It's we all started. I don't know if you were ever a RAIN member.
No.
Bill said, you're doing this online launch, hey? And I'm like, yeah, I think I am. I don't know. I'm kind of stumbling along with this. And he said, great. Can I help you? I'm like, I bet you can. And so he sent my stuff out to his whole list. He attended all of my webinars. He's helped me produce so much online information. He's just been like this really magical gift to me, honestly.
Yeah.
It helps with so much stuff. And he just kind of appeared out of nowhere. Now, Bill, he started back in like 2003. He's landlorded over 1,500 tenants. And he's had his own journey. He's done like 5 or 6 rooming. He's done tons of rooming houses, and there's a whole like process there. And he just brings his own spice and his own flavor to basically this Street Smart Diva product. So he and I developed together the Street Smart Educated Landlord, and so it's all packaged up and ready to go for people who want to get started and don't necessarily have a lot of money and don't maybe can't qualify for financing or don't want to put out their own money, you know?
So one important thing for everyone to pay attention to is people will actually pay for your knowledge. It doesn't matter what skill set you have, what niche you're in, who your target market is, or what you do. There's people out there that will pay for your knowledge. Right now we're talking to Julie Hoffman, who is in the real estate investment space, but people do product launches for just about any type of education and training in a variety of different industries, a variety of different niches, and it's really just determining what your market or what your target market is looking for, what assistance they have, what they need help in, and just creating a step-by-step course that really answers the problems and the questions that they have with how to do something, and just walking them through that program. And it's done by typically done when you're doing a launch. It's typically done where you have a series of videos and you put them in a members area, and someone buys your training program, and they get access to the members area where they can consume the video content. They can get the downloads or the PDFs, or maybe you have templates or resources for them, and those are all available to the people who become members of that product. So the product launch, what we're talking about when we talk about product launch, is actually creating that training course program, and then the sequence or the process in actually getting it out to your target market through a series of educational videos that creates desire and anticipation, and helps educates them that you understand a problem, that you have the answer that's going to help them solve the problem, and then you make your course available. And it's typically done in a 4-part video series. Jeff Walker coined it the sideways sales letter. I think that was the phrase, the sideways sales letter, and he sort of perfected this back in the early 2000s of the he was doing blogging back at that time, and started generating leads by selling people on investment information. I think that's how we got started. I read his book too, and I'm a member of Jeff Walker's product launch formula as well. So I'm very, very much in tune with the process. So, okay, so it took you 18 months, so sort of, coming up with the idea and figuring out what you're going to do. So let's step back just a couple of weeks. So you made a decision as to what date was going to be your launch date?
Yes, that's right. I worked closely with Bill on just determining what date should be good, what would work for both of us. And yeah, we just set out a schedule and determined some topics that we wanted to talk about. As you mentioned before, there's this sideways sales letter. So for my launch, 2 nights ago, we did a webinar about the 3 myths about financing. Talked about 3 different areas of financing that most people probably don't know.
Right.
Then last night we had a webinar about there's been some Canadian federal government changes to the lending rules that, to me as an investor, is going to create lots of opportunities. So we talked about that last night, recorded both of them. They're both on my website just for people to enjoy and look at and, hopefully learn from.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, I did put the link in the description of this video, of the live video, so you can click on that link. You can check out the information as well as the strategy behind the launch series, because there's 2 up there already. They were live webinars that were recorded and are placed on the website. Now there's going to be another live webinar, is there, Julie, coming up soon?
Yes, that's right. Tonight we have another live webinar at 7 p.m. Pacific time, and it's all about joint ventures.
Okay.
So there's lots of little tips and tricks on how to do joint ventures. And for folks who go to your link, there's a sign-up sheet. And in addition to the webinars, I have lots of free content that I'm giving away. It's called the Motivated Seller Worksheet. It's all about how to identify motivated sellers, how to get all the information that you need. It comes with a video tutorial and a workbook. And then you're also going to get my Street Smart Analyzer, which is how to analyze properties, also with a video tutorial and workbook. I've got a networking workbook coming out, and if you can't network, John, you're a networker. Probably if you're watching this, you're some kind of a networker. You're out there, you're a hustler. You got to network, you got to get out there. And I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've really hammered it down to like 7 or 8 different tips that really, really work well for me, that I still totally use. What other free stuff do we have, Golly?
And that's an important distinction when it comes to doing these product launch formulas. Is really in the first 3 videos, it's really about giving away a lot of tremendous value, a lot of good, valuable information that is going, and a lot of times you use very specific examples. Some people I didn't get a chance to watch yours, so I don't know if you're using examples of other people or you're using your exact specific examples, but it really depends on your industry. There's a lot of times in these product launch type videos, there's actually videos of people that have already used the product or service and the success that they've had in using that product or service. So it's really about adding tremendous value with a lot of social proof over the first three videos of a product launch. I know that we're talking specifically about your real estate investing, but at the same time, I want to broaden it to the sense that this is something that anybody could use in any industry, this sort of product launch formula. And it was developed by a gentleman named Jeff Walker. If you search Jeff Walker or PLF or product launch formula, you'll get tons of information on it. He wrote a book called Launch. I actually have it over there.
I have it somewhere in my office.
So it's great information on how you can, attract attention, get people to know you, like you, and trust you. So it's also about introducing new people to you. So through that first three videos, there's a lot of cold traffic. Cold traffic means they don't know who you are. They've never heard of you. So during those 3 videos, part of the process is getting people to know you, to like you, and trust you enough so that when you ask for the sale at the end, that more people are apt to buy because you've already earned that trust through the process.
Yeah, that's the hope. And ultimately, if you're selling a product, you want to attract people that are looking for what you have.
Right.
And that it's been definitely an experiment over the last 18 months to just kind of be able to say, okay, yeah, I think people will really get a lot out of this. So I'm just gonna give it away because I think it's something that somebody can put to use right now and really use. And that's pretty cool to be able to do that. Jeff Walker certainly did that for us.
Yeah.
My husband did order his book, but we followed the book. Like we just followed the book and experimented, and again, trial and error. So no matter what industry you're in, you probably have, I'm sure you have something that people could learn from. It's amazing. And especially, I love the concept of give more, get more. So yeah, I would love for hundreds and hundreds of people to buy my product. I would. But ultimately, I hope that they think that I can help them.
Yeah, it's really, in a lot of ways, it's about branding, educating, and building up that following of people that know you, like you, and trust you. They may not buy it today. They may not be ready for it, or it may not be something that they're interested in, but just building up your following and then providing valuable content on a regular basis to these people through a variety of different mediums to keep them engaged, that when they are ready to buy, you've already earned a lot of that trust, and these people already know who you are. So, when they're able to take advantage of something like this, that they're just going to step up and they're going to actually take some action, because in doing this process, for a lot of entrepreneurs, they struggle with actually putting it together. So it's really about taking the action and adjusting as you go along. A lot of people just don't take that step. They don't take that massive action. It's all about failing. If you're going to fail fast, adjust, and keep going.
John, I've had so many people email me and say, I'm just watching your launch. I'm observing your launch, and it's really cool because I hope it can help, because we change it up quite a bit. Can I give you one good tip?
Sure. Yeah.
Webinars. Webinars are really big, and it can be a little bit intimidating, but it's a great way for people to get a really good feel for you. And like you're interacting with Facebook people right now, there's something to that, and it really has a big impact. So if you don't know how to do webinars, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
And from your point of view as well, it's very important because it enables you to get feedback from people and questions from people, so that for an entrepreneur to be able to survey their audience in a certain way, or find out what it is they're looking for. And you can do that through the chat mechanism in the webinar. That is extremely powerful because it may change the product. You may have to add something new to the product that you've just that you're selling, which is very quick and easy to do in this type of scenario. Are you doing the traditional where one component is released per week when you do launch it? Is it going to be like a module per week gets released, or are you just opening the entire thing up?
That's a really good question. Yeah, it's going to be launched kind of a trickle out. So a session per week. It's all timed, and the purpose of that is because we can adjust it so that it can come as a flood if that's what you want. We can totally do that. But I've found that going to weekend seminars, as valuable as they are, and as much as I've gotten out of them, they're certainly a big reason why I am where I am today. But it can be very overwhelming.
Yeah.
And Oh, especially when it comes to real estate investment, and especially when it comes to creative real estate investment, because you almost have to kind of open your brain and just kind of let it process a little bit. And so coming in trickles is where we've identified it to be more effective.
Yeah, so you're not blasting your audience with a fire hose, the fire hose
Exactly.
effect, where it's like they don't, there's just too much too fast and they can't consume it and
Yeah.
absorb it and put it and contextualize it, because a lot of this is creating the context for them to be able to understand that then they can take the content and use the content a lot more effectively. So spacing it out, a module at a time, a week at a time, gives you the ability to help the audience consume it in a logical fashion and give them time to think about it. But at the same time, on your side, it gives you the ability to take a lot of the feedback you've had for the first 3 webinars and maybe adjust some things. Maybe something's a higher priority, you need to change the order. Maybe you need to create 1 or 2 different videos because these people really seem to be struggling in that area. So it's like, wow, I should just create those videos and put them in there. So it's going to answer the people's questions and they're going to get a lot more out of my product by doing that. So using that feedback is crucially important. I participated in a lot of launches. I haven't held many myself, but I've participated, meaning I was actually there either on the launch or I was actually in the studio as they were doing launches on some occasions down in San Diego. And they didn't use were we using Webinar Jam?
We're using Zoom.
Oh, Zoom for your webinar? Okay. So,
Yeah, I
so
love Zoom. Zoom, I'm a fan.
So this was Mike Koenigs was doing his launches, who's a coach of mine, and they do live streaming, and then they have a chat role right beside. So you have the chat role running where people are communicating with the people on screen as well as interacting with each other. And all of that feedback, all that information is being fed to Mike and Head, who are actually doing the live cast. Being fed to them because it's for them it's a big production, right? They have teleprompters and a dozen staff running around and feeding them all the information. But it's so valuable because with entrepreneurs you have to be able to change on a dime and switch directions. So if something isn't working or people want to know something, they can actually address it immediately and even change up the product. Because a lot of times, a lot of people will do these launches and the product isn't even created. They create the product after, they might have the first couple of videos done, but they're creating the product after it gets launched because they want the feedback from people. Is that what you're doing too?
Well, that's what I did when I started. I had all of these topics and I built them. I built them up every day. Leading up to the next week when I had my live event, because it'd be a live event, okay, that I recorded and now I've got nicely packaged and edited, thanks to Bill again.
Yeah.
But I would create it as I went along, and there were a couple times, for instance, I was going to do 2 sessions and I wanted to get right into landlording because I thought it was important.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a little poll. I did a Survey Monkey, free Survey Monkey. Like I use as much free stuff as I possibly can.
Yep.
I'm a shoestring budget girl. I just am. So they all wanted to get right into lease options. They wanted to get right into the next like meat and potatoes real estate topic. I thought landlording was important. They wanted to learn about something else. So we left it actually to the end. And it ended up working out really well that way, actually, because we ended up doing 10 sessions on different real estate topics and how to find deals. And it was really fun. And then at about session 7, Bill and I decided to launch The Educated Landlord as its own product. So we invited more people to join us for the last 2 sessions, which was all the Street Smart Educated Landlord. So it was great. We had a few additional people join us, and my original students already had what they had, and then they had the landlording, and it was really cool how it all just kind of shook out. And it all came from, yes, my customers' feedback. You got to give them what they want.
So I have a question here from Keith Shannon.
Oh.
And so if you could answer this, and then I'll give my thoughts. So Keith wants to know, what would you say to a junkie like him that wants the whole course at once? He doesn't want it trickle down. He just wants the whole course. So what's your, what is your comment back to, say, somebody that comes to you and say, well, why can't I just get it all at once?
You can if you want to. We'll set it up for you.
Okay, so
I'll give you what I want. I'll give you what you want as long as I can give you what you want.
Right. So you will actually customize it per individual if they wanted that.
Yeah.
That gets a little bit more difficult to do at scale.
It does.
When you're getting a couple hundred or a couple thousand people buying your product, gets a little bit difficult. So I think it's important in the delivery of, it's how you deliver the information during the first 3-4 videos as to how it's going to be rolled out, and it's done in a very strategic manner. And I would sort of educate them as to why it's being done on this drip method. And a lot of cases, I'm not sure if you're doing this or not, but every week are you doing sort of a class, sort of for the people that buy, you're doing a free call or a group webinar or something?
Yes, we're going to have supplemental mastermind webinars.
Okay, so
we're going to be able to adjust the sales as we go along within there as well.
So getting back to Keith's question, I would, one of the things I would say is it's to make sure that everyone is at the same sort of place, because we're doing these weekly coaching calls, and we want to make sure that everybody is on the same page, not that some people are further ahead or than others and they're asking questions that people don't have any idea about that sort of topic. So it keeps the pace, everyone at the same pace, and because you're going to be doing that group coaching call. So that's what I would advise anyone that wants it all at once. It's we have to look at everybody and make sure everyone is going, in order to serve everybody effectively during our coaching calls, that we want to make sure everyone is consuming the same content, not content that's further ahead than everybody else. I also put a link to Julie's launch in the description. So if you want to click on that, you can go and watch the previous 2 webinars, and then there'll be another webinar tonight. Does it take place on the same page, or because I only put the one link in there that took them to that page where your two previous webinars are? So if they wanted to watch tonight, how do they do that if they've gone to the, is it on that page?
It's a great question. If you want information on how to join the webinar, all you have to do is click in the box and fill out your email information. And there's also, please make sure, and if you're going there from this live cast, there's an option in there to click on John McCabe, of course. And I just want to make sure that people that are bringing me people that I thank them properly. But yeah, if you want information on tonight's webinar, then you've got to fill out your email information. I promise it's going to be busy over the next few days, but you can unsubscribe at any time. I'm not going to be crazy. I want you to get, plus you'll get all of my free stuff, which is a lot of, I think, amazing free stuff.
Excellent. And is that so you can get notified? Obviously you're giving your email. So Julie's using Zoom for the webinar. So in order to get access to the webinar, she needs to email you out the link before the webinar starts. So that's why she's going to need your email address. But you can, if you wanted to just sort of observe, like some other people are doing, observing Julie's launch, then definitely go and check out the webinars that she's already done and watch the one tonight, and then just follow along for the rest of the launch, and give great feedback to Julie in going through the process. And if you're in the real estate field or you're looking to get in the real estate field, definitely by all means, there's going to be a lot of valuable information, a lot of great content, and a lot of good freebie stuff as well. Yeah,
it's fun. And yeah, if you are trying to launch and stuff, by all means, join us, welcome, and learn all that end of things, because it's a learning process. And I remember, I'll never forget my first sale, that first email notification from the launch. It's really exciting. It's worth the time and the effort, because honestly, I've got 5 kids. Okay, I like spending time with them, and so being in this launching space, even though it can sometimes be a lot of hard work and not always the results that you're necessarily looking for, every time I do it, I learn. And it's just like property. Every time I do a deal, I learn a little bit, and especially when things don't go the way that I plan. So I highly encourage you to tune into John, this guy right here. He's a smart marketing guy, and like the work that you're doing on Facebook Live is, I really see you as a true pioneer. So
thank you.
It's great. It's really cool.
Yeah, and you know, this week I'm sure is a tremendous amount of work, putting in a lot of work this particular week. So let's talk a little bit about the technology that you're using.
Yes.
For doing the launch, the entire launch process, and you know, your website, your members area, you know, webinars. So just run through the list of some of the technology that you're using, and sort of how you're finding it on a complexity level. Are you a techie? Are you a non-techie? So, and why did you choose some of the technology you're using?
That is such a great question, and I've been wanting to really give a shout out to the Turnkey Blog team ladies, which are Maria Adejuan and Izana Kupepa. And also, they were introduced to me from Mark Januszewski. So he has surrounded himself with some really, really smart people. Anyway, they have helped. Also, Heather Plude, who has just been amazing. I've learned a lot, and I've again, going back to the Master Key, the MKMMA, they have a whole like online training program that's included in this work that they do. Okay. And so I learned a ton. I paid attention. I asked Izana and Maria for help. They are my hosts. They're my hosts for my websites. So they have helped me tremendously when it comes to technology. So I use Aweber for my lists, for building my email lists. That's my CRM. Should we expand on what that means, John? Or
customer relationship management tool. It's for managing your lists as well as sort of the actions that they take on your list.
Right, and so I really like that. I like that format. A lot of people use Infusionsoft and MailChimp, those kinds. I don't know what do you use, John?
I was using Instant Customer. Then after Mike Koenig sold it, I sort of wanted to get away from it, and I actually showed something called Agile CRM, which is very powerful, like Infusionsoft, but without all the confusion, and without the big price tag either. It's very, it's very inexpensive, but you have the ability to visualize your campaigns, so you can mind map out what you want to happen. So if this happens, do this. If that happens, do that. So from a visual standpoint, I'm a very visual person. I can just map it out, and it's just so easy to use. So that's what I'm using right now. I transitioned everything to Agile. I put everybody up in there, and I think it's great.
Yeah, you got to figure out what works for you. I really like my Aweber. I like it a lot. And you asked me before, am I techie? I am now. I was not when I first had a website. You probably know Tim Francis, yes?
Yeah.
So Tim built my first website called juliehoffmantv.com, and it's still out there, and it's really, really well done. But I didn't know how to do anything in it. I didn't know how to change my phone number. I didn't know how to do stuff. So I've learned so much, and I've learned a lot of it actually through just Googling things on YouTube.
Yeah.
To tell you the truth. So for my website, I have WordPress. I have a WordPress website. And again, the Turnkey Blog team has been amazing in helping me get set up for that. And they created a really nice site for me for my Street Smart Diva stuff. uh, so that it looks really good. And then Bill Vico is very, very smart technologically, so he does a ton of things as well. But I really like WordPress because I find it very user-friendly. And I've been able to find pretty much anything I need, with the exception of a couple of pretty darn technical things, again, from YouTube.
Right.
Zoom, I use Zoom technology, and I am a paid, I have a pro account because it gives you the webinar, a recording ability. It gives you the ability to have, a certain amount of people on your webinar. I use it all the time for presentations, because I still do a lot of real estate. I'm acquiring a large portfolio in Saskatchewan right now. I did most of that through Zoom presentations with investors and that kind of thing. So Zoom, what else can I tell you?
Your membership areas,
yeah,
just a plug-in for WordPress?
Yes, that's right. Bill knows better what it's called than I do. Isn't that terrible? Mm-hmm. But he's just really smart and has carried the ball with so much of this stuff for me. I really appreciate it. And if you're not techie, yeah, you got to get somebody on your team that's techie.
To some degree, you don't have to be, a computer scientist by any means, but you do need to have a little bit of technical background. Myself, right now, I'm using, I have Webinar Jam, but a lot of, so I do have some webinars I use in Webinar Jam. A lot of times I'll actually just hold the webinar on my website, and I just do a live stream like I'm doing right now, right through my website. I patch into YouTube Live, which I have the link streaming in my website, and then I have a chat role, so I can actually see and watch people chat as I'm actually doing the presentation or the information. I've done a lot of live casts like that where I've sold products and services. And it was extremely effective. I mean, I learned all that from my coach, Mike Koenigs, on doing all of that. But that worked extremely well for me. I sold upwards of one live cast, 3-hour live cast. I think I sold in excess of $40,000 worth of marketing systems. Yeah. So it worked extremely well. But I do have Webinar Jam. I use Agile CRM. Yeah. I also have ClickFunnels. I think I have it all. ClickFunnels for sales funnels systems, and I use Kajabi, the new Kajabi, for all of my courses.
Yeah, I was going to mention Kajabi. I used the new Kajabi for a launch 2 launches ago, and I ended up going back to WordPress just because, for me at the time, although it's very beautiful, like it's a very beautiful format. Mm-hmm. I'm just really comfortable with WordPress. So, I went back to it because I felt like it was a whole new learning curve, but they were excellent, great with customer support, and again, beautiful format, and really cool for like affiliate stuff as well.
And, because I have all these different systems, there's actually a lot of them are integrated with each other. Like when ClickFunnels came out, it seamlessly integrates with Kajabi, and Agile CRM has an integration with all of those as well. But there's a product or a service called Zapier, Zapier, and Zapier will actually integrate. It integrates 200 to 300 different products and services through API code, which is very techy. But all you got to do is basically just say, I want this software to talk to this software. And you basically just, in Zapier, you just say, make this one talk to this one. And it just, after a couple steps, it just does it automatically. So there's nothing that you actually have to do. So if somebody buys something or does something over here, Zapier automatically makes something else happen over there where you wanted it to happen in the first place. So it's a great tool for integrating a lot of systems together. So I use that on a regular basis as well.
Well, and then of course PayPal's great, and I also feel like it's very user friendly. But I also use Square.
I use Square.
Really like Square. Yeah.
Okay, so I've used PayPal, but with ClickFunnels and Kajabi now, I use primarily Stripe because it integrates so seamlessly with Stripe, and the registration for Stripe, the process took me about 10 minutes.
Yep.
So,
and the thing is, so can I make another suggestion
sure.
for people? Okay. So something that's been very big for me is to do public speaking, to draw people to my online space and my launches. In fact, that was probably the biggest component to my launch in the first place. I was scheduled for this live event, and I said, well, I've got this launch coming, I should incorporate it all together. I did this event, and I got quite a few online real estate investment training customers out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What I learned from it was that it was a little slow with trying to integrate the PayPal. So what I did at the next event that I did is I got Square. I was able to process everybody in my phone.
Yeah.
Very important. It's just really important to be able to process people right away.
Yeah, when people want to give you money, you want to be able to take it.
Give me the money. Yeah, it's, I hope that doesn't sound bad, but yeah, you got to strike when the iron's hot.
That's right.
And I'm very lucky. I'm touching wood right now. I've never been asked for a refund. Of course, I always would if I was asked, for one. Mm-hmm. But it's, if you have that capability when people are in front of you, you want to be able to process their purchase right away.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So, so you find Square works extremely well for.
Yes, for that, because I don't have like one of those, whatever you call it, big black things that they have at like
terminals, the credit card terminal.
Yeah, so I've got this. I can do it like on my phone, or they'll give you a Square reader that plugs into the phone. It's somewhere here in my desk.
Yeah.
And you do a swipe, and it's just, I highly, highly recommend that if you do live stuff and then you sell at the live event, because then, yeah, again, they can get your product instantly.
Right. So Julie, how many emails are you sending out this week? I don't mean like, you know what I mean, the series. How many emails are in the series for this week?
Oh, for my free stuff?
Just during the launch process. So
yeah, that's a good question. I would say 2 to 3 a day, okay, depending on who I'm sending it to for what. So the people that have joined my list for this launch, I want to make sure that they have the login information for the webinars in case they want to come back to another webinar.
Right.
So they're getting my free content information. So I would say 2 to 3 a day. I'm not trying, I don't want to bombard people, but at the same time, I want them to know that there is this available. So it's a bit of a delicate balance, because I really don't want a lot of people unsubscribing.
Right.
But at the same time, if they don't like me anymore, then.
Well, I think it's pretty commonplace during a launch to get definitely emails every single day for sure. Sometimes you'll get a couple of them, and especially when the cart is getting ready to close, there'll be 3 to 6 going on that particular day, just reminding people the cart's about to close at midnight. The cart's going to close at midnight. So, so it's pretty standard practice to be sending emails out on a regular basis during the actual launch process, because a lot of time either people have busy lives, busy schedules, and not everybody opens up their emails all the time. So a lot of them could just, could be days before they actually get to open. So you never want to think that, somebody read my email and they just weren't interested. There's a good chance that they didn't even read your email. So you need to send more emails. And a lot of times people gauge the email based on the subject line. So maybe just the subject line didn't resonate with them, but you will get a subject line that will resonate with them, and then they'll open it up, and then they'll consume the information and hopefully take the action to click on the link to go to the webinar and get signed up for the webinar.
Yep, that's true. So I had something. There's another program. Can I share it with you?
Sure.
Buffer. Buffer's great.
Okay. I don't think I'm familiar with Buffer.
it'll automatically post for you on your social media platforms. So LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. And I gotta be honest, my favorite is Facebook. I don't know why, but I like it the best. I just do. I'm not a huge tweeter, although I'm sure I'm leaving money on the table or whatever. But yeah. So I can load my buffer. Again, it's a free program, but you can get the paid version and load, like, be posting every 15 minutes on Facebook or whatever social media you want.
Right.
It's a great little tool. So it's called bufferapp.com, I believe.
Okay.
I don't know. Where would I type that for people to be helpful? I'm watching you over here, by the way.
That's okay. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of tools and resources that can actually make your life a lot easier. A lot of automation out there that can automate a lot of the processes that we actually do on a regular basis when we're doing things on live. And so what is it that you're posting on Facebook? Are you just posting? I've actually seen it, but I'm just pretending I didn't see it. So what types of stuff are you posting on Facebook, and how effective is it in driving traffic?
I am posting, letting people know that primarily about my webinar, and I'm sending them directly to the webinar link. And it is, I don't know for sure how effective it is at this point. And I know that sounds terrible, but I'm just being honest.
Because that leads me to, well, actually my next question was going to be about the statistics that you've observed so far. So do you have like emails sent, open rate percentages?
Yes, I have that.
Click-through rates?
Oh, I have that, but I don't have it in front of me, John. So
okay.
But it's pretty good.
So are you using, did you create short URL? So for those who don't know, there's companies like bit.ly, bit.ly, and there's also Google has a short code, and there's various places. So you don't actually type in the entire URL that you want to send them to, the entire website address. You just type in the specific short code, but that short code will track all the people that click and go to that web page. So you can use different short codes for different social media. So you can have one short code for Facebook, one for Twitter, one for Instagram. So you can track where the traffic is coming from. Yeah. And how much traffic you're generating from those specific social media. So are you using any of that strategy right now?
Google, I use the Google shortener.
Okay.
Then with the Buffer app that I told you about, it creates its own bit.ly.
Okay.
So my Aweber does track my email opens and and the click-throughs.
So you do have it, you just don't have it. You're tracking it, but you just don't know it.
I don't know it off the top of my head like I know I should. And then and also we have some statistics that we're able to track back in this affiliates program that we have.
Right.
For my WordPress website.
So you can track how many people are coming from which affiliates?
Yes, exactly. So like John Simcoe, I know you've had John Simcoe.
Yep.
He's one of my affiliates, and we've been able to track all of it. He's had like a ton of clicks for us. I'm sure you're going to have a ton of clicks for us today because you have your own affiliate ID, and that's again through Aweber. But yes, I have used bit.ly, and I really do like it. I'm not using it for this launch. I'm just being honest.
Okay, because I seen the actual post in Facebook, and it was like looked like the full URL.
Yep.
As opposed to like a bit.ly that you could actually track how many people are clicking on that particular link.
And see, like I get the whole bit.ly side of things. I really do, and I'm probably being a rebel because I am kind of a rebel. It's just I think all entrepreneurs are in a way, but I like having my website out there. I like people seeing the Street Smart Diva, right? Yeah,
for the branding purposes.
Exactly. So it's not just that I'm being contrary. It's a little bit like I like that big companies spend millions and millions and millions of dollars for brand recognition. It's not always necessary, right?
Yeah.
But you are right. I need to I need to get my Bitly going.
Or just some kind of a tracking system so you know where the leads are coming from. I just want to welcome Jay Warner, Barbara McLean, and Bill. Bill indicated that you're using Affiliate WP. That must be your affiliate tracking program, is it?
That's Bill, yeah.
Okay.
That's our affiliate tracking program. So there's different links everywhere, right, for different media. So I should have a Bitly. I'm going to do that today, John. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Change my Bitly on Facebook.
glad I could be of service somehow.
Oh, huge.
So you're not tweeting stuff out on a daily basis or using Instagram or Snapchat or any other social platform right now for this launch?
I'm really focused on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm focused on Facebook, and I know so I would love to hear what you have to say about reaching all those. Like,
so are you using paid traffic at all or just all organic?
It's organic.
Okay, so here's a tip.
Okay.
Only 3% of people on your list are actually seeing your Facebook post.
Yeah.
So if you actually grab your phone and you click that live button and you start talking to people about, and before you hit the live button, you can actually type in information in the description as well as the URL link that you want them to go to. So as you're doing the live video, especially prior to the webinar,
yes,
you do a live video. That live video will be seen by closer to 80% of the people in your list versus the 3% that are seeing just your standard post that you do right now. So if you want to drive more traffic from your list, if you have 2,000-3,000 people in your Facebook that are your friends.
Yeah, I got 5,000. So
okay, so let's think about that. 5,000 times 3%. So maybe 150 of them are actually seeing your post out of the 5,000. But if you click on that live button and you in the description you say that you're doing a live webinar tonight and here's the link. Click on the link and go to the webinar. It's going to start in 30 minutes, and you spend 10 minutes just engaging with people.
Okay.
Or do it an hour ahead, and you just spend a few minutes engaging with people on that live video. Yeah. So that'll be seen by closer to 80% of your friends, which now you're up to 4,000 people that are going to potentially see that live video or be notified that there's a live video going on, and you have a better chance of getting them there. So when you put in your link. Just put my link in there because I gave you the idea to do this.
I will do that, John. I promise.
And then that way you'll see how many people it actually generates.
We'll call it the John McCabe experiment. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's what we'll call it. But do that. I would do that a couple times today, and then definitely every day prior to and every day, just get on there and talk about what you're going to talk about in the webinar. So it's like the pre-webinar to the webinar, right? And then you can see when people, I can see people are typing in or chatting with me, and you give shout outs to people as it's not like a production like this. You're just grabbing your phone and you're talking to your phone. And as people are coming on, I say, hey, Sally, hey, Jerry, hey, join me tonight. We're going to be talking about this. Here's what we're going to talk about. And, it's the kind of like the preliminaries to the main event.
I'm the opener for my own show. I'm fine with that. Right?
So that's
my phone.
You just do it with your phone. You just go in the Facebook app and there's a button there where you would actually post.
Yeah.
There should be a button right beside it to go live.
Can I do it through my computer? I can't. It's fine.
I don't know. See, I do it through my computer, but I'm using software.
Right.
So I'm not 100% sure if you can just click the button and it's automatically going to stream. I thought that you needed actual software like Wirecast or OMD or something like that. Or Mevo or something. That's how everyone that I know is actually doing it.
Okay. Well, I'll do it. I will do it. I'll do it.
So that's a good experiment.
Okay.
It's not going to take a lot of your time and potentially could drive some more traffic.
Sounds good. I'll do it. Okay.
And it is now 2:00, so we are done for the day. So thanks again, everybody. And Julie, thank you for joining me on today's Johnny McCabe Show. It's the second to last episode of the first half of the season. Be sure to join me tomorrow for the season finale. There's a special guest. We've got a few things planned for tomorrow, so you definitely don't want to miss it. But thanks, everybody, for joining me. Thanks for the comments and the shares and the likes and the loves. And thank you again, Julie, for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So everyone else, just stick around for some closing remarks, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, thanks for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we work with entrepreneurs, business owners, authors, experts, and speakers get seen, get heard, get noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. Now, also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, if you're someone who's looking to take your business to the next level and want to get some coaching advice, why not apply to be a guest on today's show? Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create a life of our own, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our own desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with others. Now, a great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Step one to reaching our freedom life is to realize that you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frame to get you from where you are to where you want to be, while being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the goal of helping each other move forward with their business. Now, the second step to creating the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. The activities that get you the biggest return on your time invested, the ones that truly make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Now, working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses, and specializes in systems that can streamline your operations can help save you time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, for example, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now, just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result is you're a #1 best-selling author. You have enough content that's going to get you seen, get you heard, get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device. You have a successful podcast. Now, it's automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, and generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now, this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. Now, to find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, coaching program, or mastermind, then contact me via my website at johnamccabe.com or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now, again, thank you for joining us on today's show, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority.